age verification, a new predictive market, and another data breach. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by Incogni. Take your personal data back with Incogni. Get 60% off an annual plan at incogni.com/Chuck and use the code Chuck at checkout. I felt like this one was really important, and I know people seem to think that I'm on a crusade against Microsoft, and maybe that's because I am.
Well, you know.
But this comes from Ars Technica, and I want to read the first paragraph. It's something I usually don't do with articles. Microsoft's warning on Tuesday that an experimental AI agent integrated into Windows can infect devices and pilfer sensitive user data has set off a familiar response from security-minded critics. Why is big tech, and I read that as Microsoft, so intent on pushing new features before their dangerous behaviors can be fully understood and contained? And I think that says it all. And that's, Microsoft is always my whipping boy, but that applies to OpenAI. It applies to Google. It applies to everybody who's out there. And I'm as guilty as the next guy. I'm using AI on a daily basis for a lot of different things. Then I see something like this and think, wow, is this really a good idea? To be feeding it all of this and experimenting. And to Webb's point, chatting with Grok. At least he was doing it in front of his wife. So that's something. But feel free, anybody.
Introducing Grok to my wife. I was introducing.
Okay, I'm not judging Webb. I was
his friend. I'll spin the enterprise side of this. There is no way that a company's going to allow this to happen. I mean, they get assurances, based on talking to Microsoft and the implementation of it. They put the concerns out there. Believe me, information security teams scrutinize that, go in all in with that comes with that. So I'd be shocked that this could even be a possibility. I know it's out there. There's no question about it. But to be able to pilfer data like that, with a company allow that, to allow access to that, I'm kind of skeptical about this article, honestly.
Well, I'm taking it from ours, which is a pretty good
they are
source, and they're quoting Microsoft as a warning on Tuesday. It's not like they said that they discovered this.
I meant Microsoft. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just the farther down, I guess the fanfare, however, came out with a significant caveat. Microsoft recommended users enable Copilot actions only, quote, if you understand the security implications outlined, close quote. Okay. So you're putting a loaded gun into somebody's hands and saying, just be aware that it's loaded and don't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Or don't let anybody get their hands on it and pull the trigger. By all means, please, read the article, pass your own judgments, but it's getting frightening.
Great.
It's getting frightening. Okay, we have another twofer here, and I'm going to be very careful to paste these in the chats as close to the same time as I can. And I'm only sorry that Jeff Gammett's not here for the second one. The first one is that Roblox is looking to have age verification by having kids upload an AI verified selfie, or users of Roblox. And then the second article is that Pornhub is urging tech giants to enact device-based age verification. Now, we can all snicker at Pornhub, go right ahead. But the idea that they're asking, they're asking somebody else to be responsible for the age verification and trying to put it back on the platforms. Is this a good idea? Or is it the lesser of two evils between that and uploading a selfie for verification?
A company like Pornhub, it's their responsibility, honestly. I mean, any of these companies that in that area, if they don't have any type of age verification, and then the government is going to bust their butts and saying, "Hey, you didn't protect a minor going onto your site that was under 18. You need to be more scrutinized with this. And why do you have to lean on a technology company to do it for you? You may be able to hire them, but I don't see that they should be required to be helping them. I mean, that's their business. They're offering adult services, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't need to scrutinize who their audience is. I mean, that's the bottom line to it.
Marty?
Since Jeff's not here tonight, I'll speak on behalf of pornography.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Pornhub is dealing with these issues state by state.
Right.
And as a result, what they're doing is they're getting pushed out of states, or they're saying, we're just not going to play in your state.
Right.
And to understand that they're asking tech giants or the place where the hardware that and software that people get access to their service is through the technology. They're asking them, hey, instead of us managing this state by state, it would be easier since you have controls already on your devices to be able to do this, that if you could be the interloper for us on this part. I get what they're trying to do. I don't necessarily disagree with the ask, but it's being generated so they can so they are not dealing with it by state lawsuit. That's the best Jeff I can do.
Yeah. That's a pretty good point, Marty. Brian?
So my comment was looking at the Roblox, and as far as I know, most people that I know who play multiplayer games and interact with people that they don't know, personally, that may be in their, phone book or something like that, are not using the built-in platform for chatting. They're using things like Xbox Live, or they're using things like Discord to chat with people that would completely bypass what this is doing. So I've been, scouring the article and trying to understand it. Maybe this is for, and they have a picture of, I guess it's Roblox there on the phone, but I'm thinking for those people who play either console or playing through your computer, most people are completely bypassing the in-game aspects of the chat and using third-party software, or I guess in theory first-party software with the Microsoft ecosystem if they're playing on Xbox.
Yeah, Marty's comment about state to state, I want to go back to that for a second, because I believe that they've had to do it because of the changes in the law. So
right.
The law is shifting out from under them. And so in some cases, they're just saying, look, if you are in, I believe it was Louisiana, I think it may have been
Louisiana. Yeah.
Was it just Louisiana? Was Texas involved? I can't remember.
Florida.
I don't know.
It was Florida.
Yeah. So, okay. So we're just going to turn it off. So guess what? You turn on your VPN, connect from Canada, and you can go and do whatever you darn well please, or Montana or Illinois or New York. So there are always ways around it. But I guess I just feel like this is just asking Apple and Google and even Microsoft to take on a burden that I'm not really sure that they should have to, because it sets everybody up for failure. so blatantly and so obviously. And I don't, and unfortunately I don't have an answer, but I do not feel good about the Roblox thing any more than a couple weeks ago when I think Tinder was saying, oh yeah, just upload all your photos. It's fine.
How could
Or
that go wrong?
well, yeah, that or was it? I don't think it was Pornhub. It may have been on another adult site that they wanted you to
Yes.
upload your photos so they could verify your age.
Right.
And it's like,
It's
okay,
Tinder.
okay, so that's fine. They can verify your age. They've also now got your photo. No matter what they say they do or don't do with it, they still at some point have it for that analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I just was looking that up with the Florida law. That law went into effect January of this year. That they absolutely have to have an age verification system, and the Pornhub chose not to do that. So if you connect without a VPN, you can't connect to that site. If you go to if you use a VPN, then it does work. From what they said.
Webb, were you pulling the mic down?
It's a complex issue, and I had a great point and I lost it when I was thinking about something else. But it is regulated state by state. It always has been. It always will be. That's why some states your drinking age is 18, the other you're 21, because that's just the way the states want to regulate these things. So, like I said, it's a complex social issue, and we have a tendency to gravitate to the titillation, if I can use that word. But I think that there are other things that are not of this adult nature that could affect it. Oh, and the other thing was that it's not, what I understand is that not that they have your picture, but they also, what they have is a picture of your ID, like your driver's license. And that has a lot more information on it besides just your picture and your date of birth. It also has your, the in Missouri it has the ID code, the driver's license number, and that's personal information. And a lot of these services can get in real deep trouble if that gets out there. And anyway, that's it. Just complex issue.
Well, in some ways, Webb, thank you for bringing up the titillation issue, because I had to include that article because that's who was making this request at this point. But forget that it's Pornhub and what the kind of content they deal in. It's anybody that is dealing in content that is potentially inflammatory for children, or that is potentially connecting adults with children in a way that is not appropriate. And I'm not sure that burden should, I don't have the answer, but I'm not sure that burden should fall on the platforms to do that, because as soon as they miss one, they might be sued out of existence, or class actioned out of existence. So it's a tech age problem, and we're all having to figure out how to deal with it. Brian?
Another example could be a beer site.
Yes.
It's so anyway.
Yeah,
just an example.
Well,
I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah, well, no. Before Brian does, Webb, you're right. I mean, liquor, tobacco, alcohol. Well, sorry, liquor and alcohol are the same thing. But
CBD.
Yeah, cannabis, right? All those, or even some of just the supplements that are out there being advertised as absolutely safe, and they're being shipped in from places that don't have the same restrictions and guidelines that we do in this country, for better or worse. Brian, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you off.
Sure, no problem. I was just thinking on the technology end with Apple. I wonder if in the future they're ever decided to on their own, or maybe it's something that would be forced if they decide at the operating system level to maybe verify age, that the digital driver's license technology may actually be a benefit to the consumer if they had to share, that with the third-party companies, because it wouldn't be your whole ID, but rather just maybe your name and your date of birth or something, or just saying, the age has been verified, because it's already been trusted through uploading with Apple. But
there's a conversation going on in the chat room that's interesting. Barry said, pointed out that until VPNs are banned. Joe says Michigan is debating outlawing VPNs. I had not read that before. And that Barry said then the EFF is fighting that and encouraging everyone that isn't yet to use VPNs for normal web use, no matter where you are. So I've got to go and look the Michigan thing up. I had no idea about that.
Welcome to the future of data privacy with Incogni. In today's tech-driven world, protecting your personal information from data brokers is more crucial than ever. Incogni is here to ensure your data remains private and secure. This service is designed to help protect your personal data from data brokers who collect, aggregate, and sell it. Using Incogni feels like finally reclaiming your personal space, but online. No more random calls, no more data breaches, just peace. Incogni are also so thorough, they go after all kinds of data brokers. Marketing firms, credit companies, people search sites, recruitment data brokers, any sort of medical or police information, you name it. If they've got your info, Incogni is coming for it. You're covered in all areas. And now they've introduced something huge, custom data removals. With their new unlimited plan, you can copy and paste any link where your info shows up on sites beyond their usual list, and their privacy teams will work to get it taken down. Incogni's privacy experts actually go in and handle the removal manually, even from sites that are harder to deal with. It's like having a privacy SWAT team on speed dial. Right now, you can get 60% off their annual plans by heading to Incogni/Chuck and using the code CHUCK at checkout. It's also completely risk-free. Incogni offers a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied with them removing your personal information off the internet. Live free from dangerous spam by using Incogni. That's incogni.com/Chuck for 60% off their annual plans. Right now, you can get 60% off an annual plan by going to incogni.com and use the code CHUCK. That's incogni.com/Chuck and use the code CHUCK at checkout. Thanks to Incogni for supporting MacVoices.
We're starting to wind down here, guys, and I got two more. This is sort of a follow-up to one we did either last week or the week before. That now Coinbase is saying they're going to launch I hope I'm pronouncing it right, it's Kaushy-powered prediction market. So I'm going to channel my inner Jeff Gamet and say, this is, a betting site with fake money. What could go wrong? Where you're going to on a Coinbase backed site, you're going to be able to bet on not just sports games, but also elections and pretty much anything else they want to throw in there to be bet on. Does it sound like a good idea, Eric?
No. But then the whole fake money, everything just sounds like a bad idea waiting to happen. Well, it's happening.
Yeah.
Nobody wins in this, but there are a lot of people that lose. And everybody's trying to figure out a way to get their cut before everything falls apart. It's an interesting concept. It has a veneer of, oh, look, here's an added layer of respectability or whatever, but I don't think it's any more real than it was before. You just add another set of, equations and formulas that people also don't understand, that make a bunch of statements, and then people spend more money tied to that. I just think it's a bad idea. But I'm sort of down on the whole fake money thing anyway.
I'm not as down on the fake money thing as much as you are, but the fact that they're getting into the prediction market business just screams opportunities for all kind of influence, and I hesitate to use the word corruption, but I can't find another word. That so who's controlling the predictions, and who is altering it?
Well, and every time you do something that adds a layer of, I don't quite know how that works, but trust it, that's a problem. It's like financial instruments that only one or two people understand, and even they didn't really understand it, that in hindsight were just a really bad idea. I view it in a similar fashion.
I am going to throw in a link to a podcast. I was not able to easily find the specific episode or episodes, but this is from Pushkin. This is Against the Rules. Michael Lewis, who you may know the name if you're a business book reader. He wrote The Big Short. He wrote a number of different things, and his stuff is always really, really good. But he did a series here talking about the betting markets, specifically sports betting, and the way that they manipulate, the way they offer, the way they bring people in, the way they treat the high rollers favorably. But as soon as they find someone that has a little bit of information or a little bit of expertise, they drop them like a hot potato. It is absolutely well worth finding. And if I can find these specific episodes, I'll put them in the show notes. Because it makes you look and say, wait a minute, nobody should ever be getting involved in this stuff, because the house is so stacked against you and for the house. Barry says he saw Kaushy executives or founders interviewed on CBS Sunday Morning. My impression was they don't have an ethical compass. They think betting is an investment. I need to go look that up too, Barry.
And it might be for them.
Well, the stock market is betting as an investment, or investment is betting, or
yeah, but there's a certain number of rules.
True.
And there are a certain number of penalties, which may or may not currently be being enforced, but when it's working correctly, yeah, if you do something or don't describe something or don't report something, there's a penalty. And hopefully some of what is being done is understood, which is why there's standards in reporting. Sure, Webb has a much better way of describing that, but it's not totally unpredictable.
Yeah, fair point. Brian was kind enough to type it into Chat GPT. He's faster than I am. And I'm going to drop some of those into the show notes. But episode 4, episode 7, episode 8, episode 10 are the relevant ones that you may want to just check out if you have an interest in any of this. But it is not only that, it's a great, I always enjoy listening to Michael. He did the book on Sam Bankman-Fried that was so controversial. Last one of the evening, and that is that WhatsApp has had a significant leak to the tune of 3.5 billion phone numbers, including mine. So, WhatsApp is owned by Facebook or Meta. Need I say more?
So you did find yours.
No, I didn't go looking, Dave, but it's 3.5 billion. I think the odds are pretty good.
Question is,
So
if
is
I've
that-
never
is-
signed up for it, is it going to, could I be exposed to it anyway? Because I have some other Meta account. So I'm sorry, Marty.
Yeah, I was going to say, so does this mean lost revenue for Meta because they pretty much just gave up all those phone numbers?
A lot of questions. I want to know how they, how they were so careless with that, or just exactly how that kind of breach occurs.
Well, you're identified when you first signed up. You're identified through your phone number, and everything that you do is connected through your phone number. So if you want to put it on another phone, I have one phone number that stays pretty steady, and then another one that will change on a second phone. And if I want to put it on that phone, there's a whole bunch of different stuff you have to do to be able to do that. And you lose access on that other number. So it is, in that sense, it's so, I think, so easily, it's easy, it would be easy for someone to be able to pull that out because that's your identifier in that system.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to understand how and why they have it, because you're right. It's a messaging app, so you're going to have to give up your phone number. But still, so it's one more example of the world we live in, and why we talk about security so much here. You need to be aware of some of this stuff, and there are things that you can't protect yourself from. I don't know if anyone heard it earlier, but my phone rang, and I have a second number that comes over to this phone, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I seem to be getting more and more spam calls coming to that number. I have no idea what I signed up for or who sold what to what, but I know it's coming through that secondary number. So there are a limited number of candidates for it. And if I thought I could do anything about it, I'd go and figure out who it was, but there's not much you can do. Marty, you want to throw that in?
Yeah, in the article, the thing that was the scariest was that they have known about this problem for more than 8 years. So you have a company that failed to implement any changes or even go after it over 8 years ago when they first learned about it. So that's distressing. If this was oops, there was this little hole we didn't know about, but this is just kind of sloppy.
Yeah, it is. And that kind of attitude, along with the one previously stated about Microsoft, is, that ours article specifically said big tech. And I know Apple's often included in big tech, but you just don't see these kind of things happening under the Apple banner. Now, it doesn't mean it can't or won't at some point, but especially when it comes to Meta's products, it seems to be a regular thing. So,
yeah, Eric posted a question: how many companies are companies are using the product? At one time, everybody I worked with on an international circuit was using Skype. May she rest in peace. But now WhatsApp is their way to communicate using voice over IP and internationally. So,
yeah.
Marty, I'm glad you said that, because I was not on WhatsApp until NAB this year, when some people I was trying to connect with there said, yeah, well, that's where everybody is. And if, we'll put you on a group chat if you're on WhatsApp. And so I got on WhatsApp because I needed to make the connections, but I really wasn't all that excited about it. So
yeah.
That's why I say now I'm probably in the 3.5 billion. All right, guys, that we actually got through everything tonight. That was impressive. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and opinions and everything. Let's go around the room, let folks know where they can find you, and then everybody can head off to chase down turkeys for Thanksgiving. I'm going to flip it around only because David Ginsburg has confused me. Now he's at the bottom of my screen. So I'm going to start there. So David, happy Thanksgiving early. Where can folks find you? You're muted, David, so nobody's going to find you anywhere.
Sorry about that. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody here, and I hope you have a great holiday. Yeah, my Zoom just went bonkers, and I had to rejoin. That's what caused it. But you can find me at In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com, YouTube channels, youtube.com/intouchwithios. I'm on the Vision Profiles podcast with Marty and Eric on Monday nights. Here on Tuesday. On Thursdays, record the In Touch with iOS show. Fridays on the Mac show on the British Tech Network. And I'm on Blue Sky Mastodon at Dave G65. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you. Appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Webb Bixby, thank you for being here. I hope you are doing something interesting for Thanksgiving. Where can folks find you to find out what that might be?
Well, I will be here in this home. We have everybody coming here as opposed to me going somewhere else. So that means I got to get up at the crack of dawn and get the turkey on the smoker. Actually, 2 turkeys on the smoker. So anyway, you can find me at same handle, Webb Bixby, WEBBIXBY, at just about all the socials, but I stick with Blue Sky because I like the name.
Great. Thanks so much, Webb.
Thank you.
Jim Ray, thank you for checking in from orbit, as usual. Good to have you. Where can folks find you?
I am cleared for landing.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Yeah, that was the worst 50s spaceman I ever saw, Jim.
While in orbit, you can reach me at on the Mastodon network at ProVueJim, PROVUE, at techhub.social.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Eric Bolden, I hope you have a great holiday filled with turkey or squirrel, whatever makes you happy. Where can folks find you?
I'll be outside waiting for the squirrel to lightly roast sunflower seeds and put them in a basket for dinner. Yeah, might have to wait until next year to get all the steps down. I can be found on Mastodon at eabolden@mas.to. Otherwise, Monday nights on Vision Profiles, covering all the Vision OS news. Tuesdays, of course, here, MacVoices. And Thursdays on Touch with iOS, with iOS, macOS, iPadOS, Vision OS. Really, it's a roundup of all of the OS news from the week.
Perfect. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. Brian Flanagan Arthurs, you're still looking great with that new camera. Where can folks find you?
Appreciate it so much. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and very thankful for always being on the show. Best place to reach me is brian8944.com, and always invite people to check out my podcast, On the Desk of Brian. New episode releases on Thursday morning.
Excellent. Thanks, Brian. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Marty Gensius, I know you're doing some driving for the holidays. Are you going to wear that shirt while you're driving?
No, not at all. I'm going to wear probably some type of vest. But, Eric is not having squirrel. I think we need to remove that fantasy, that accusation. He's really having a turduckle. It's a turkey with a duck, and it's much easier to get a squirrel cavity inside a duck than it is the chicken. So he's having a turduckle for Thanksgiving. You can find me at Gensius, Jencius, at mastodon.social, or also at Blue Sky because Webb likes the name. And Mondays on Vision Profiles at 9 o'clock with Eric and Dave, and other folks will join us occasionally. And then Tuesdays here. It's fun to be here, whatever shirts we wear when we show up. And then Wednesdays, I don't do anything on Wednesdays. Well, yeah, I do, but that's another thing. Thursday, Dave with In Touch with iOS, and occasionally Friday mornings on the Mac Show. You can catch all the projects I do at the podtalk.net website, and you'll find out about the other podcasts without me having to talk about them right now.
Great. Thank you, Marty. Have a safe Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Folks, that goes for the rest of you out there. If you're staying home, great. If you're cooking, if you're doing the turkeys if you're going to do a fried turkey, please do it outdoors. In my other life, I've seen way too many bad things happen to people that try to do it indoors. In fact, do it away from the house, or just go out somewhere and get one. Otherwise,
do it in your neighbor's backyard. That goes
there
over
you go. There you go. As the neighbor you don't get along with. Yeah, that's good. But no, I hope everyone has a great holiday, whether you're staying at home or traveling. Please be safe. We want to see you right back here next Tuesday on MacVoices Live. And I also definitely want to say thank you to the chat room. They were throwing some really good things in there, some really interesting information. So as they always do. So thank you guys for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Until the next time, I'm Chuck Joyner. We'll see you back here on MacVoices Live next Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.